hate me, don't you?
Tune in to Kons podcast.
You hate me, don't you? 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 You hate me, don't you?
So a high school out in Canada, you know what I mean, it was shot up, you know what I'm saying, they called it a mass shooting. The shooter was in what people believe Canada. This is something that belonged to America, you know what I mean. We usually ones out here using extreme measures of violence and scooting shoes up, usually scooting and shooting. In Italy, you know what I mean, Italy is protesting heavy. They heard that ICE was going to be present as security as the Olympics took place. You know what I'm saying? The people of Italy definitely are uprising of the people. You know what I mean? Maybe this is why they don't want us to see it, because it is uprising. Maybe it'll inspire minds of people out here. Maybe this is why they don't want to cover it. You know what I mean? J.Cole, you know what I'm saying? J.Cole been out here promoting his album, you know what I mean, on the road, sell out the trunk tour. You know what I mean? Been driving around different cities, different states around North Carolina in his old Honda Civic. Something dope to see. We don't really see artists doing this, mingling with the people like that. You know what I'm saying? I thought this was definitely dope and a hell of a way to promote the album. You know what I'm saying? The album is a great album. I mean, by the way, you know what I'm saying? What is happening? What's going on? What's going on? What is happening? It's episode 360 Kons podcast today. You know what I'm saying? On this good Thursday, February 12th, 2:35 in the afternoon. You know what I mean? I hope everybody is doing cool. Hope y'all having a good week so far to this Thursday. You know what I mean? It's the pre-weekend before the weekend. You know what I mean? Just a few little topics we're going to jump in today. You know what I'm saying? It's just your first time here. What this podcast is about. This is where we go over the news, go over headlines, whatever headline you might have seen or whatever your homepage might be, whether that's MSNBC News, Yahoo News, Hip Hop DX, Google News, wherever it is you see headlines and get your news from. I'm probably touching on 1, 2, or 3 of them headlines right here on Kons Podcast, you know what I mean? So share it out, tell your people, so let me keep you updated on this wicked world, you know what I mean? But thank all y'all for tuning in. Those that been here before, y'all know what it is. You feel me? Thank all y'all for tuning in. Episode 360, just got 3 little topics for you today. You know what I mean? We definitely gonna touch on a shooting that happened out in Canada, surprisingly. You know what I mean? A school shooting up and out there. We're gonna touch on what's been going on in Italy. They've been protesting heavily about something they don't want. And also J.cole been taking a nice little different approach on promoting this fall off album. Touch on them 3 things today, you know what I mean? But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Didn't record yesterday, you know what I'm saying? Stuff to do. There was stuff going on. The place I recorded was occupied, you know what I mean? Couldn't record nothing yesterday, but I want for you today, you know what I mean? On episode 360, we're gonna touch on them topics that I named you feel me? So without further ado, without no more chit chat banter, you know what I mean? Let's jump right into these topics, you know what I'm saying? So a high school out in Canada, you know what I mean? It was shot up, you know what I'm saying? They called it a mass shooting. The shooter was in what people believe to be a transgender. Many people say it was a man dressed in a dress with a rifle. It was 25 injured, and I think it was 9 people that was unalived. 9 people that was unalived. They say the shooter suffered a self-inflicted gunshot wound. I don't believe they have a motive at this time, you know what I'm saying, for why he did this, but the next clip that you're going to see is just clips speaking all about this shooting that happened at a high school out in Canada. Check these clips out.
In Canada, where a school shooting in a remote town in British Columbia has left at least 10 people dead, including the attacker. 2 people were airlifted to hospital in a serious condition and dozens more have been left injured. Canadian police say the female suspect had been found with what's believed to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Another 2 people have been found dead in a local house, and police believe the incidents are linked.
You hate me, don't you?
In British Columbia is one of Canada's worst ever mass shootings. Here's what we know so far. The attack happened at a school and a nearby home in the small town of Tumbler Ridge, and is located about 415 miles northeast of Vancouver. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police received an active shooter call at 1:20 local time on Tuesday. Residents were told to take shelter and avoid leaving their homes and businesses, and hold and secure lockdown also covered the secondary school and a nearby elementary school. Police say 9 people were killed. Another 25 people were injured. Police say the suspect's body was also found at the scene. Names and ages of victims are not yet known. Authorities say they knew the identity of the suspect, but are yet to release further details. An alert described a female in a dress with brown hair, but the person's name or gender are yet to be publicly released. The police also said they were investigating the attacker's possible motives and whether the suspect had any connection to the school. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney has suspended his planned trip to Germany.
Breaking overnight, a gunman carried out Canada's worst school shooting in decades. Police say he murdered 6 people at a high school in tiny Tumbler Ridge in British Columbia. The gunman was found dead at the scene with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. A 7th victim died on the way to the hospital, and 2 more people were found dead in a home. 25 others at the school suffered injuries, and investigators say they may struggle to determine the motive.
It's a devastating and unimaginable tragedy. We can't imagine what the community is going through, but I know it's causing us all to hug our kids a little bit tighter tonight.
That was clips and details, news clips on that shooting that happened out there in Canada. You know what I mean? This was surprising to see. You really don't hear about this going on in Canada. This is something that belonged to America. You know what I mean? We usually ones out here using extreme measures of violence and shooting schools up, usually shooting schools up. You usually hear about that happening in the States. You know what I mean? This definitely took me by surprise when I heard that it was out in Canada. You know what I mean? I guess America is starting to bleed off in these other countries. You know what I mean? Which something that ain't good. You know what I mean? 'Cause I don't even think they ever seen a school shooting in their own country. You know what I mean? I don't think Canada's ever seen that, but I don't know. I don't live out there. You know what I mean? But this is definitely something that made a whole lot of news nationally in a lot of different places. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people have heard about this shooting that happened out there in Canada. You know what I mean? But it's just surprising because you don't hear about stuff like this going on in Canada. You know what I'm saying? Canada is usually us in the States. Look at Canada as like a place of paradise, peaceful. You know what I'm saying? Y'all crime rate is extremely low. Y'all have free health care out there. Y'all are a country that ain't never been to war with no one. So that's in the States, man. We look at that as some type of paradise, some type of peaceful place. You know what I mean? So definitely was surprising to hear, you know what I mean, about something like this going on in Canada. You know what I'm saying? In Italy, you know what I mean? Italy is protesting heavy. They heard that ICE was going to be present as security as the Olympics took place. You know what I'm saying? The people of Italy mobbed the streets and protested. You know what I mean? Nobody seemed to be talking about it. I ain't seen it on no American news coverage. You know what I mean? I mean, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people have stormed the streets. They said they don't want them there after seeing all the violent videos on the internet. They don't want them there at all. The next clips you're going to see is more about this protest situation. You're going to see people hitting the streets. You're going to see the cops dealing with protesters. And you're going to hear about what the Italians had to say about this ICE situation and how they don't want them there in their country. Check it out.
Don't you?
I am both American and Italian, and I certainly did not move to Italy to get ICE agents here. It's not for Olympic security. We already have a security agency called the Secret Service. If they're good enough to protect the president, they're good enough to protect our athletes. We do not need killers in Italy or Milan.
Scintillava, letteralmente scintillava. Non si metteva glitter, ma giuro che aveva scintille che non uscivano.
You hate me, don't you?
corteo che raggruppa sindacati di base, movimenti sociali, associazioni cittadine per protestare contro delle Olimpiadi che sono state costruite soltanto in favore dei ricchi, per favorire la speculazione edilizia, per favorire l'ingrassamento degli imprenditori tramite le fette di torta degli appalti.
We don't want ICE here because they're murderers. They've done bad things that I don't approve of and we don't approve of, and we don't want them here even just for the Olympics.
Protest in central Milan, where just in a matter of days the 2026 Winter Olympics are due to kick off. Last week, news came out that ICE agent employees would be present at the Winter Olympics, and that did not go down well here with Italians. Tell me about your sign you've got here.
I think I wanted to make something, a message that was like clear and easy to read, that clearly shows that ICE don't really approve the behavior of ICE agents in the US. So that's why I came here today.
Dovrebbe essere un momento in cui calm down, si pensa allo sport, ci si unisce davanti allo sport e magari si inizia anche un po' a ragionare e a cambiare atteggiamento su tante cose, ci si apre. Lo sport serve a questo, non serve per far passare altri messaggi se non di pace e di tolleranza, di apertura, e l'ICE non è assolutamente questo e non c'è bisogno.
The local reaction has prompted the Italian government to react and to clarify the role that ICE will have here during the Winter Olympics.
We need to look at what the responsibilities of ICE actually are. If they come, they will come to cooperate, not out on the streets, but to cooperate with the police, just as police forces from other countries do. When there's a major event, there has to be international cooperation among police forces.
US Olympics officials put out a statement last week clarifying ICE's role during the Games, saying the USOPC does not work with US domestic law enforcement or immigration agencies in the planning or execution of the Games, including agencies within the Department of Homeland Security, like US Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Italian authorities are solely responsible for all security operations at the Games. A spokesperson for ICE's Homeland Security investigations emphasized the agency would not be carrying out immigration enforcement operations. And the DHS has said it will be supporting the US State Department's Diplomatic Security Service and Italian authorities, who will take the lead in securing operations.
The protest has been very peaceful. There are people here from all walks of life, from retirees to families with small children. Security is always a top priority at these big events, and US officials told CNN that they've been working for as long as 2 years with local Italian law enforcement to make sure that the US athletes there, their parents, and the US delegations coming here will be safe. It was confirmed to CNN that J.D. Vance, US Vice President, and Secretary of State Rubio will be attending the Olympics.
Assolutamente, non vogliamo questo mondo, quindi che li tengano, anzi li rinchiudano tutti perché sono dei pazzi, nazisti. Fascisti e poco.
Italians, like everybody else around the world, have seen the videos and images of the ICE violence on the streets of America. So there's a lot of concern. The Italian government, led by the right-wing Giorgia Meloni Prime Minister, they're trying to downplay it. Italian Foreign Minister Antonio Tajani said that this is sort of, a regular thing that happens, and it has happened before, and that ICE will not be enforcing immigration here in Italy. There were MPs in the region of Lombardy, which is where some of the Olympic events. held protesting yesterday. These are MPs from the Democratic Party extremely concerned, as is the mayor of Milan, Giuseppe Sala. He said he does not want ICE coming to Italy. Other opposition MPs have said they want to bar the ICE from coming. There's a lot of alarm throughout Europe as to what ICE is doing, but particularly in countries that lived under fascist regimes. And of course, there's a lot of concern in the United States that this is the beginning of the rise.
You know what I mean? Why protests? You know what I'm saying? Police is out there dealing with millions of people hitting the streets. You know what I mean? They don't want ICE there at all. They found out and heard that there was going to be security, and they was like, nah, we ain't having that. You know what I mean? So the people out there took to the streets and was protesting heavy, making many words and presence be felt against the government. You know what I'm saying? But they ain't covering that nowhere on American news. I ain't seen no coverage of that.
Yeah, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? You feel me? I'm here to interrupt this episode to let you know. You know what I'm saying? To hit that subscribe button if you ain't already. You know what I mean? Hit the like button if you liking this content. You know what I'm saying? Comment on what you want to say on this content. You know what I'm saying? If you got something to say, if you remember something, if you heard about something that I'm talking about, let me know. You know what I'm saying? I mean, let me know and hit that subscribe button. You know what I'm saying? And tell your friends to hit that subscribe button. You feel me? Spread the word. Feel free. Share all this content on your social media, whatever platform it is that you got. You know what I mean? Thank you for tuning in. Let's get back to that episode.
Nobody talking about it or none of that. You know what I mean? Because we not doubt America want us to stand up. You know what I'm saying? They say we united, but yet they are the ones that are constantly trying to divide us. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this was dope to see. Definitely an uprising of the people. You know what I mean? Maybe this is why they don't want us to see it, because it is an uprising. Maybe it'll inspire minds of people out here. Maybe this is why they don't want to cover it. You know what I mean? But I ain't even gonna speak too much on it, being that they are blacking it out. You know what I'm saying? I don't want them to come from my YouTube channel before I even get big with this. You know what I'm saying? You don't come for me. I'm just spreading the word. You feel me? j.cole. You know what I'm saying? j.cole been out here promoting his album, you know what I mean, on a little sell out the trunk tour. You know what I mean? Been driving around different cities, different states around North Carolina in his old Honda Civic, selling his $5 CD for $1 out the trunk. You know what I mean? Calling it the trunk sale tour to promote his album. The next clips, also he been picking up people, you know what I'm saying, if they was nearby within 10-15 minutes, he been picking up people to ride around, listen to the fall off with j.cole himself. You know what I'm saying? So the next little clips you're gonna see is just j.cole amongst the people. You know what I mean? Surrounded by the people, signing CDs, selling CDs out his trunk, embellishing with all the fans and all the people in these next few clips. Check it out.
Don't you? You hate me, don't you?
I'm gone to Carolina. That's how I'm living.
Bro, y'all fuck with rap music? Yeah.
Man, I got this brand new album, bro. I just put this shit out. If you fuck with it, I'm just gonna wait, this is my first time doing this. For real, wait. It's on my phone and everything. Ooh, try this one. Wait, why is that? Make my.
Hey, I appreciate you, bro.
Damn, thank you, bro. You my first sale. Oh, I got a sale. Hey, you want me to email you or text you the receipt? No receipt? No receipt. All right. What's up, bro? Yeah, you fuck with it? Ooh. Would you like me to text or email your receipt? Ooh, 3 sales. Fellas. Y'all like me, don't you? Go to the most open space we can, slowly, calmly. I swear to God, I'll walk by and shake everybody's hand, but we gotta be calm. Y'all gotta set the tone for these people coming. They so hyped right now. I get it. Right. So if y'all can calmly, even y'all being calm right now, they walking up wondering why it's so calm. Please stay calm. This shit too crazy. Yeah, we got crazy, bro. I was at Carolina. It ain't look like this. Hey, you right here, bro. Trying! I missed that. I'm not gonna forget that.
j.cole being with the people, talking to the people, being outside with the people, riding around with people in the car, listening to his album, you know what I'm saying, selling his own CD out the trunk for $1. You know what I mean? This is something dope to see. We don't really see artists doing this, mingling with the people like that. You know what I'm saying? I thought this was definitely dope and a hell of a way to promote the album. You know what I'm saying? The album is a great album. By the way, you know what I'm saying? If you haven't heard Fall Off, I highly recommend you go listen to that. It is a dope body of work by j.cole, you know what I mean? But yeah, he's been pushing around, you know what I'm saying? It's surrounding cities. If you near him 15 minutes away, you know what I'm saying? He'll come pick you up. You ride around and listen to the Fall Off. Man, that is something dope, you know what I mean? Especially being with the fans like that, how humble j.cole is. Seeing a lot of videos that you've seen in the clips, people just recording him riding around in that Honda Civic, you know what I mean? This is something dope to see, man. I think more artists should do this, you know what I mean? More artists should, it definitely puts them in tune and in touch with the artists, you know what I mean? With the fans, you know what I'm saying? They definitely are in tune more with each other, but to be able to see them and mingle with them, you know what I mean? He said, please smoke before you get in the car, though, you know what I mean? He said, no kids, you know what I'm saying? So, yes, you can't ride around and burn with j.cole, you know what I'm saying? But now, you definitely can ride around and listen to that album with j.cole, though, you know what I mean? That's definitely something fire. If he was rolling around out here, I'd definitely try to make myself available, you feel me, to try to get in that whip and listen to the Fall Off with j.cole himself. I think that'd be something dope, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's dope with j.cole, you know what I'm saying? But that's all the topics I got for today, you know what I mean? That's all the topics I got for today for episode 360, you know what I mean? Now, this is where we do the little recap, you know what I'm saying? In case you might have pulled up, in case you might have rolled up, got a little too loaded. The tree was a little too potent than you might have thought it was, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you pulled that drink, took that shot, and it hit you way worse than you thought it was, you know what I mean? The shot was a little more potent than you thought. Or maybe some kids was fighting upstairs or something in your house, you know what I mean? You had to go intervene. They was getting ready to slap each other out or hit each other with remote controllers over who turn it was over a game or something. You had to walk away from the podcast, you know what I mean? In case you had to do any of that, this is everything that you just missed, you know what I mean? So I touched on a high school out in Canada, shot up out in Canada with 25 injured and 9 expired, you know what I mean? Also let you know that Italy, you know what I'm saying? Italy is out there protesting, you know what I mean? Heavy, because they do not want ICE to be present or security at the Olympics coming up. And also j.cole has been riding around in his old Honda Civic selling his CD out the back of his trunk like he did in the old school days for $1. You know what I mean? That's everything that we went over, you know what I'm saying, for episode 360, you know what I mean, for episode 360, you know what I'm saying, that's the little recaps, everything we touched on. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully I put you up on something that you didn't know, you know what I mean? But thank all y'all for tuning in. Thank all y'all for watching, you know what I mean, because we all know you could have been doing anything that you wanted to do, no matter who you was, you know what I mean, and even no matter who was, whether you was a little brother, little sister, whether you was an older brother or older sister, whether you was a niece, a nephew, a grandma, a grandpa, whether you was a mother or father, whether you was an uncle or AT, you know what I'm saying, whether you was cousin Pete, cousin Nunu, cousin Man, you know what I mean, and if you got pets that's sitting there right along with you, and your pet is sitting there watching the podcast with you, and you petting them, whether your pet could be a pet cat, a pet dog, a pet hedgehog, a pet squirrel, a pet hyena, a pet pig, a pet lion, a pet giraffe, a pet bearded dragon, a pet lizard, a crocodile, a reptile, a alligator, alligator, whoever your pet is, you feel me? If they watching, they got eyes on the podcast, I definitely give a salute to them, you know what I mean? Like you see the emoji homies scrolling up that screen, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, thank all y'all for tuning in, thank all y'all for watching, you feel me? I know you hear that beat creeping up. The beat creeping up was made by none other than Beats by JJ, you know what I mean? So let this beat talk to you in the background, you know what I'm saying? While these credits roll up the screen, give my last little minute comment on these topics that I shared with you today, you know what I mean? So hopefully y'all can join me on the next episode and I'll have some more topics for you. Never said, but yeah, thank all y'all for tuning in, thank all y'all for watching. Might not catch y'all on the next episode.
That they don't know what the fuck. You understand that? Make me don't you?